What's up guys? I'm going to show you an amazing video today because we're going to break down a current brand that is doing pretty well by the looks of things. We're going to break down their site and we're going to rebuild it on Shopify. Obviously no affiliation to the brand. We don't have any connection to the brand. We don't know the people. So this is just a fun freebie just to show you a little bit of some conversion optimizations that we would normally do for Shopify stores. And it was just fun. So let me show you the video. Hope you guys will enjoy. If you have a Shopify store, you'll get some golden nuggets out of this video. So stay tuned right to the end.
Awesome stuff. So here under my video, you'll find a link that will take you to Shopify and give you a free trial. Basically, you'll get the best thing about Shopify for only about $1 a month. As you can see, it will allow you to do this for about 3 months. So this is great and very cheap. Okay, so if you want to, hit the link down below and you'll get to a page like this where you'll be able to read up a little bit about Shopify and then obviously sign up. Put your email in, sign up, and then go from there. I've already done so, so let's go on to the next step. You'll be welcomed with a screen like this about what you want to sell. This is basically the AI, if you will, in the back end that will help you set up the shop and all the necessary channels, the necessary settings, and whatever else there might be. But I'll take you through all those necessary steps regardless. So don't worry about missing anything. You can even say skip to this and you won't have any problems. So I'm just going to walk through this because obviously with the example that we are trying to fulfill, we are going to fill in the necessary things. Obviously I know more or less about supplements, so obviously I can look at what the settings are that we might need straight from the get-go and let Shopify do some of the work for me. All right, let's just say that is their annual revenue. They're currently on that as I have looked into the code. Let's say we take the URL because it's asking us, do I want to use the WooCommerce page as a starting point? So why the hell not? Let's see what it does for us. I paste the URL in there now, and let's say do that. What do I plan to sell? Products. Okay, so we're going to obviously sell products ourselves. They do have consulting and coaching, as I've seen here somewhere. I think under shop there was something under the shop. So they had something around like consulting or, meal plans and stuff like that. So anyway, let's just leave it at that. To the next part. Okay, so we'll take, for example, the basic plan. As you can see, it is $25 per month. This is the normal and everyday plan people all around the world probably use as the start for their Shopify. So I'm just going to use the basic plan. When I started developing on Shopify, there was only 2 plans. So 2 or 3 plans. So now they've got 4 plans, which is quite crazy. But let's just skip this for now because I think it's going to ask for, card details rather. I'm developing this out of randomness for this brand, so I don't want to put my card details or anyone's card details in there. So only once we select a plan. So if you go through this process for me and you go through the link in my description, it will take you to this homepage once you've done the mini setup, and you'll get your 3 months for $1 each. Only once you've assigned a plan to the package. Okay, let's just keep that clear. Okay, great stuff. So all I want to do is obviously look at the start guide that they've given me here, which is very typical. The first things that I would like to look at is what are they offering you as the start. I always like to go straight to the settings, purely because I want to get the actual brand around the store finished first. And once I've done the store settings, the policies, all of those things, connected maybe Instagram and Facebook accounts, etc. like that, then I will go into the next phase of actually designing the store. So let's get into this. Let's manage brand assets. So this will probably be logos and colors and etc. I've got a color pick eyedropper that I use for a lot of things on the web. A lot of the stuff you can actually change within the theme editor. There we go, perfect. Okay, so now all we do is save. That's the brand assets that we got rid of or taken care of. With this being a .co.za, I completely assume that this business is a South African business. So there are only a handful of payment gateways that we are allowed, but we have to go through the payment gateways website, sign up with the guys as a merchant, and then they'll help us do the integration. So I can't really show you much about the payment system setup because obviously this is a tutorial around just redeveloping this brand, but it's very simple. Checkout, I wouldn't change much here. I would just make sure that if you go through these settings, make it relevant to your brand. If you have a past experience, make it very relevant. why don't we add something to cart here, and we can actually just have a look at what the checkout process is like for them. So let's just go add to cart. Let's say salted caramel. Ooh, nice. Almost 2 kilos. Add it to cart. Extremely long wait just to get to add to cart, my word. Okay, doesn't even let me know that the add to cart happened, but okay, there we go. We've got shipping in at 91 Rand, or we can have standard shipping. Why do they standard shipping door to door for 2 to 5 working days for a much higher price than the flat rate? I don't know what's going on here, but anyway. All right, so there's my cart. Let's check out and see what this checkout process looks like. Okay, simple two-step process. We've got billing information, and then we've got payment information. So obviously very simple. Oh wow, and I can actually click on it. So that is very weird. So what Shopify has taken away is a two-step process checkout, which is obviously one thing that I wanted to make sure that you check inside of your settings. Inside your checkout, they've made it now a one-page checkout, which obviously allows a lot less, takes away a ton of friction from your checkout process. As you can see, this is a two-step that they currently got on WooCommerce. The two-step process is obviously a little bit more work, adds a little bit more friction. People understand two-step, but I mean, one step is obviously a little bit easier for them because they don't have to wait for the next page to load, for example. But also, the whole process of a checkout is to make it as seamless and easy as possible to obviously increase conversion rates. As you can see, they've got the various ones that South African businesses are allowed to use or can use. Shipping and delivery. Okay, so what we did notice, if we go back to the cart, the shipping costs we need to now capture. So if we're in the shipping and delivery in the settings, you go here to your general shipping rates. We don't have to create another custom profile, okay? Because we're only gonna, because this is a South African.co.za website, I'm pretty sure they only deliver to South African country, provinces or states. So we're gonna then just set up nationwide shipping. Obviously, as you can see, shipping in domestic, which is South Africa. We're gonna delete the international zone, and what I'm going to do here is we're obviously going to say I don't know if they have a free shipping offer over a certain amount because they don't state it anywhere. I would have expected if I spent over 1,000 Rand that I would get free shipping, but as you can see, I'm still being charged 91.99 cents. So what I'm going to do is we're going to then say we'll add this in. This has nothing to do with their current setup. There we go. So we've got 2 shipping rates for South Africa, nationwide shipping. Below 1,000 Rand, 1,500 Rand in value on the order, they get charged 95 Rand in shipping. Above 1,500 Rand, they're going to get it for free. Apps and sales channels. Here we just got to make sure we've got almost no apps here at this moment. So I know if they're primarily selling online, they probably won't be using a POS system from Shopify, but I'm just going to leave it there for now. If we go into the Shopify store, I'm going to find a few apps that I know are primary apps that are quite necessary, must-haves, whatever you want to call it, and we're going to quickly just add them to the shop. So I'll be with you in a second. All right, so now that we've gone through apps and sales channels, let's just have a look at some of the apps that we did add, and then you can obviously go and have a look at for yourself. These are not all the apps I would add specifically for something like a supplement brand, but these are the things that we're going to have to put in place as a must, so we can at least have the store somewhat functional for e-commerce best practices, if you will. So there you can have a look at the ones that we currently have. Use them, add some more if you want, but remember, the more you add, just watch for your store's load speeds and all that stuff. I've gone and set up all of these things already. Obviously, I can't do Google and Facebook purely because I don't have access to this businesses or brands, channels. So yes, next thing we look at is the domain. I took the liberty of actually going and buying a domain, put the domain in, and we've connected it with the correct DNS settings. So obviously you won't see similar page to what I'm seeing if you're connecting one for the first time, but if you've bought one somewhere else, you can buy one through Shopify, but you're not going to get a .co.za. I can promise you that now if you're South African. If you're a .com or anywhere overseas, then go for Shopify's internal and just let them charge you for it. It makes the process a little bit easier and simple for you. But if you want to, just select connect an existing domain and then put your domain in here. And when you say next, it's going to give you the necessary DNS setups that you have to go and copy and paste in your provider's website or dashboard. later. Let's move on to custom data. We don't really have to play with any of these things. If you are somewhat clued up with Shopify, you can create definitions of meta objects, and you can go and learn more about this type of stuff. Very, very useful when it comes to adding very dynamic things to the site. And if you don't even know what I just said, then you obviously shouldn't be playing with that. Languages, set your store's languages. You can obviously download their store, translate and adapt. If you want to go into various other countries, it might be good. The one I really wanted to show you was policies. If you don't currently have policies, you can see none of them have been set up. Privacy policy has already been done automatically for some reason. It must be a template from Shopify, which is okay. You can probably go and edit it if you wish, but let's open these things, and you can see here Shopify does offer you a template. However, you need to go and understand this disclaimer, because they're not going to take any backlash from you if you use the template and something does happen. But let's just, for the sake of this tutorial, use the templates that they do give and just fill it up. Obviously there's no shipping one now, so I'm not going to worry about that then. Let's do a terms of service, insert a template. Get a lawyer to do this stuff for you if you're not certain of what this is all entailing. Get a lawyer to write these things up for you. Don't play games with stuff like that, because that will always be with you. I'm going to help you set up the first product and then show you exactly all the things you need to look at creating or setting up right. So let's go ahead and just add one of the products that we found on their site. So let's take this whey protein product. So what I've noticed already from just this title of the product is it just says whey plus isolate protein. There's no brand name, so there's no keyword. Protein is probably a keyword, but what is the protein? Is it a shake? Is it a bar? Is it a cookie? What is it? So there's a bit of fixing that needs to be done here. So what I would call it is something like a Nutricon whey plus isolate protein shake. Okay, protein powder shake. Maybe that might even add more keywords for Google's ranking inside shops and so on. Why choose this protein? We'll just take exactly what they said here and just use it. Now, please don't do this to anyone's website, because I'm pretty sure you'd end up with some serious legal action. But for the sake of this tutorial, we are just going to run this for entertainment purposes. The store won't be going live, I can promise you that, unless the people of the actual original store contact me and want the Shopify site. Then it will go live by then, but nothing will come live from our site. So we're not stealing their business. We have to add variants. So flavor variants is something that I did notice when we added it to cart earlier. So we got salted caramel, chocolate, and vanilla. So in my experience, it would definitely be useful if you don't have a lot of products. So you don't have a wide product range, that you then rather take your variants. So if you've got a protein shake that's chocolate and a salted caramel and then vanilla, set them out as separate products, so it makes your store look like it has way more products than what it actually has. It's exactly the same product, but instead of adding it as variants under one product title, have them as multiple products on your store. It just makes it look a bit more full. Alright, so now we've got the products there, all the images. What we want to do is obviously just make sure that the right variant has the right product color. So there's the chocolate one. We're going to set chocolate image to the chocolate variant. Vanilla will get its image, and salted caramel will get its image. Okay, now we select save. As you can see, Google on its behalf and Shopify, using their internal AIs or whatever you want to call it, have already gone and created certain categories for us on Google. So they know where more or less these type of things would be serving for the shops on Google, so which is cool. You can obviously go and play with SEO, the search engine listing. You can go and change this if you want to and add more keywords to it so that it is a little bit more visible on Shopify, or not on Shopify, on Google. However, I'm not going to play with that right now. All that I want to talk about next is obviously making sure that your category is correct. So if you are in the right category, then make sure that that fits the product. The type of the product, we're going to call it a supplement. Okay, the vendor is Nutricon in this instance because they're the manufacturer. And collection, we're not going to add collection yet. We're going to add this in as a, let's put two So these are all supplements, obviously, but we're going to add these collections at a later date. So these tags help us automatically capture certain products into collections. So we're going to put the tag for supplements because it's going to end up in a collection for supplements, should they sell any other products. But we're going to then also have protein as a tag. So just simple and easy like that. 2 tags. There will be collections here at another date once we add collections to the actual site. So that's how you add a product. What I would suggest you do once we have to add more products, for example, if I have to go down this list of products that they have, I would simply duplicate the product, and then once you click duplicate, I would then just make sure the media is not there, take away inventory quantities, rename it, and then just add the relevant images and so on. Okay, so our store is going to look very, very plain and simple because I'm not going to have too many products. They've got a lengthy list of products, but I'll add just a few so we have some. All right, great stuff. So I've uploaded now 5 separate different products. Okay, we're going to have proteins, we've got amino acids, we've got pre-workouts. All right, what we're going to do now is create collections because we've got different tags for these things. As you can see, we've got no collections. If I go and create a collection, let's call this one proteins. So we're going to put every bit of product that are protein based or have something to do with protein. We go down to smart. We can manually add the items to these type of collections, or you can do it smart. I prefer the smart method. Why? Not because I'm super smart, but I prefer the smart method because, as you can see, you can set things to like a tag or a price or the title, and if it is equal to or contains or something like that, the word protein, it will then capture all the products alike. So in this instance, I'm going to look for the word tag, and the tag protein will then be captured. And once I select save, the 2 products, or I think we did 2 products that are protein based, should show up inside this collection. And voila, there you can see them. So you'll see all your products that are protein based or whatever tag you've used inside this collection that you've set up. In this instance, proteins is our collection. We got the whey protein and the isolate protein inside of this. Great. We can obviously go, when you create a collection, it's always set to the template of a default. You can add an image, which will obviously be your collection image that will be used on the website should you have anything there. I'm not going to put anything for now. Let's just say the next one we have is pre-workouts, because I saw that there was quite a selection that they had. So pre-workouts, we're going to then select all conditions. It can basically be all of them or any of them. We're going to then look for pre-workouts as our tag on the product. Select save. We should see 2 products pitch up. There we go. 2 products, our pre-workouts, non-stimulant, and the erupt is what they call it. So there we got the 2 products in there. I don't know if the other one was amino acids. So let's add the aminos. So people who understand gym, understand supplements, will understand that these are the products they are looking for. I believe I had it as a plural, aminos. Yes, okay, so that's captured aminos. Great. You can obviously go, and I'd suggest you look into your search engine listing and make sure that you do these things properly. I'm not going to go through this right now because of this being such a demo, but next thing we're going to look into, as you can see there, the products are. It shows you also the quantity of products that you have. So 5 products in total. We obviously can relate because there are only 5 products under the listing. Once that is set up, we've now got the products in. What is the next step for us? We've imported products. As you can see, it's happy with what we've done. Next thing we're going to have to do is design our store. Now, because I saw that this shop was built on a WordPress theme and it is using WooCommerce to obviously, do the selling piece of it all. If I go and I look at the code itself, you can obviously go ahead and do this to any website and you'll find it. If you type in, for example, WordPress, as you can see, it just indicates exactly to me what website they're using as a foundation to obviously build their website on. We can maybe even search for WooCommerce and it should even, there we go. It should even show us that the template or plugin they're using to obviously make this website becoming an e-commerce platform is WooCommerce. So with that being said, let's take the URL like they are suggesting to us inside of Shopify and just paste it in here, and let's see what it comes up when we generate custom themes. What it might come up with is maybe an exact replica of this just on a different backend, like Shopify's backend. So let's see what it actually does. Okay, so there we've got 3 separate themes that it is generated off of let's use Balance, Radiant, and Canyon. So these are free themes, as you can see, but let's have a look at what this thing looks like. Let's just have a look at the demo. What it's generated for us, obviously you can see it looks horrendous, but it's done most of the setup work for you. There's a lot of, this one's absolutely terrible, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so let's look at the next one. On the Radiant theme, I like how it's just pieced these things together, to be very honest with you. It just looks okay-ish, but it's not exactly how I would have done it. Especially if I've given you this as the baseline to pull data from. It's definitely not used everything it should have or could have. However, what's interesting to me is that it's picked up this shirt, right? And this is a product of theirs that I found on the website, but I did not upload this product. So how did it know that this product is there? So that's pretty cool. Way too big, unnecessary. This is absolutely disgusting. Okay, so the next one, this is the last one that it built for us on Canyon. No. Okay, the setups, like I said, are there, but the problem is these setups are just absolutely terrible. This is our catalog. It's not even showing the products, but okay. So you can do that. It's quite innovative. It's quite cool. See what it comes up with. Might draw some inspiration for you. However, I don't think that those are at all great. If I have to go and select a theme for this type of business, I would definitely head over with something like Dawn, because Dawn is a extremely versatile theme. Not only that, it has been tried and tested for years since Shopify has been around, and I just prefer the theme. If you want to use serious customization, it's definitely going to be your best one, and it's free, so that's also a very good selling point. Alrighty, so this is what you're going to be greeted with as soon as you open the theme. I'm not going to take you through every single process around designing this, but we're going to create almost an exact replica of the website that is currently there. So once I've done that, I'll walk you through what we've put together. All right, so now we are back. I've completely designed the website in less than a day, basically. So not everything is complete as to best conversion rate optimization, best practices, if you will, but it is a functioning website and will obviously capture leads and start making sales the moment we have to run any ads towards this. So it obviously won't go live until we select a plan of some sort. As you can see, all the ticks are complete now. We've added products. All of this has been done. We've designed the shop. We haven't obviously got customers to import. We haven't got orders to import. We checked the migration. We've done all of these other goodies, connected social media or the channels. Well, I guess I can't really connect the channels, but we've added them as the apps and sales channels. We've named the store, done all of these shipping rates, etc. As you saw previously. We've done the domain connection because I've got a domain for it already. So the setup is basically complete. Now what I want to do is obviously just walk you through what we did with the design, and then you can obviously see how it changed from the initial theme that you saw when we chose the Dawn theme to what does it actually look like right now. I think you guys might be impressed. Let me know your thoughts. However, this is the new website. So that's what you're greeted with. I'll just get this crap out the way. So very bold, very creamy, cool, quite, if you will, vanilla, but it looks very cool. We're gonna obviously trying to punt the Valentine's situation for February, but as you can see, it's very prominent what we do, and this is what I wanted to do with this new website. Tell the people immediately the moment they land on the first section, or what we call the first fold, they need to know exactly that this is what we do. So supplements is the game, and we then chase them towards our all products to obviously buy any of the supplements. If we have more specific offers, then obviously we'll make the button very fitting, I guess, to that. And as you can see, everything is sort of similar to what it was. This is the old website. I feel that it looks a lot better, it screams a lot more, it's more vibrant, and with that being said, it's going to catch more eyeballs. This website or the previous one might seem a little bit bland, but yeah, maybe that's just how I design things. Maybe someone else would design something completely different. Nevertheless, the first thing after the fold, so the first thing you could see in this one, this is only desktop view. If you wanted to view the mobile, we go through that just now. But first thing you saw on the desktop was this has some form of pictures or collections in the first fold. So that's cool. So what I did is in the first fold, we have the screaming, what we do and how we do things, high quality for high performance, and then your ultimate destination for supplements, quality supplements, with a few pictures of supplements with a very buff dude in the back. Obviously, call to action to shop all supplements. We then added very crucial point to any website. I don't care what you sell. Get yourself some form of publications and features, which obviously grow the authority of the brand in the market. Very important. So I don't care what you sell. This is very important. Now, obviously, these are made up. I found these just randomly typing gym into Google and finding a whole bunch of magazines and publications around the gym industry and fitness. So these are not real, but they do fit the part. And as you can see, second fold, we are then greeted with the authoritative logos and publications going into our collections, which obviously look a lot better in my opinion. You can let me know what you think, but this one is very open in your face. It doesn't really stand out because it's white on white. The only thing that tells you that this is clickable or that it is some form of a card is that when you hover on them, there is some form of a shadow at the back, which obviously isn't very screaming in your face. You obviously want to try and build intrigue and try and get people to take an action, because the chance that people don't go past the second fold is very minimal. So you want to make sure that you have some form of intrigue being built. Now mine looks like it's got gold buttons at the bottom, so that looks like it fits the part. You can obviously click it, the arrows obviously give it away, and then those go to the various collections. As you go down further, we go into the third fold, which will then be your best sellers. I have not put a lot of products on this site, so bear with me. There's too many to upload just for this tutorial, but you just follow the same process as I showed you earlier. Now, client reviews, I did not add this in. It's just very weird to see my name here, but I didn't add any client reviews because they seem to not have a Google. I used their Google Maps link and it says that there's actually no reviews via Google, so it didn't want to kick it in. There is if you look at the code and the way we did it in the theme editor, there is a section for Google Ads, Google reviews to actually come through. Don't know why it's not pulling. Well, it said there's no reviews, so obviously that's why it's not pulling through. But as you can see, I do have it just somewhere. Okay, that's that's the logos, deals. Where do we go further down? That's the first banner. We got the logos, we got the collection list. Okay, it might have not saved, but yeah, I've got an app. There's an InstaFeed app. We have a few more apps around the theme editor, obviously trying to push the Google reviews, but it doesn't seem to work now without the reviews actually on Google Maps. Okay, so there's their best sellers. I must admit, I do prefer how it is able to, swipe through the best sellers like this on their old website. However, it can cause a little bit of confusion if someone doesn't know that they can do that. So an auto animation might be very good for you. However, a lot of stores, and probably best practice, is to have them laid out in a grid format of some kind. And that's what I've done. So obviously we didn't do much around, graphically making the product images great, but we just took the clear PNGs and we just used them as the product layouts. I think the gray background kind of makes it uniform, kind of stands out quite nicely. And as you can see, we've got the immediate buttons to add to cart or choose options. So what happens when you add to cart, it immediately goes to the cart and it drops down a little cart for you to see. Whereas remember, when we were shopping just now on this one, if we click, for example, Absolute Aminos, and we said add to cart, the add to cart actually did not. Let's raspberry lemonade. The moment we press add to cart, it didn't pop down. It just told me that there's one thing in my cart, as you can see. I've got to actually go hover there to try and figure out that I've actually added it to cart. So that's a no-go. Next thing was, I've just added that to cart. If you've got something that has variants or different options, if you click to choose options, it actually popped up this product page for you to obviously go and pick what flavor do you want. Do you want the cherry or do you want the orange? It's pretty cool. I'll take you through the mobile just now, and then you can have a look at what's going on there. Just clear the cart, and now we go down further. These were all redesigned by us. So if you go onto the main website, the first thing you saw was this endurance page. So obviously pump the endurance pages. Now this animation was pretty cool. Unfortunately, I maybe don't know how to do it, but we created a very cool static image to obviously make it pop out, and it works quite well on mobile and desktop. So this is the shop endurance side. I prefer the way ours looks, but many might not. If we go further down, we're heading into an About Us section, which is maybe a little too early. So what I did is we put up the deals and the bundles. I didn't put all of them on here. There's quite a few on the website, but you can't find them on the homepage with the old website. So that's a no-go. For me, if you've got combos and deals, they're very, very important. People tend to won't go search your website to find those things. If they don't know about it in the menu, like over here, deals, they're not going to know about it. And this is obviously where you increase your average order values if you have big deals like this. Okay, so what I did is add it to the main homepage, and then we added a secondary product that they do sell called Bear Bell bars. Obviously these are like protein bars or chocolate protein bars. Very, very cool. I thought they were, unique, and I obviously added it to our homepage because I thought it was pretty unique. Obviously we still stuck with the About Us page on the old website, and then I only go to the About Us after punting a little bit more product. I added an app to obviously do this social media thing, but because I don't know the people, I don't have access to their login details, I cannot, attach the Insta feed and show their top performing posts on the Instagram page. So if we did ever get into touch, I will then help you do that. But this is basically the website. Then experience the Nutricon difference with some, things that make them superior to the rest, and then the footer. Okay, so this is the rest of our website that we just made. Last call to action to shop everything, or they're going to speak to an expert, and then obviously what makes them superior, as I did copy that, and then subscribe again, because this one at the bottom of the footer, people just won't see that one. It's just hidden away sometimes. So you want to make sure you really scream it out to their face and try and get them going. This website seems to have this miniature bland logo. So what I used is their gold gradient logo, which looks much better. Okay. Obviously quick links, this can change into something else, maybe company, or this one can be shop, something around those lines. I did not change that, so please excuse me. All right, on to the next things that we did consider changing is obviously having a few other apps. We do have the annotated what is this thing called? Announcement bar. So it moves with a timer of like 3 or 4 seconds. And then obviously we have a secondary announcement bar shouting some form of promotion. And then, where are you? Because I don't see you on the website now. So we do have a chat functionality, which this website does not. So there's no chat functionality. I don't know if the people here don't want to chat to the people as they're on their site. Maybe it adds a little bit of complexity. But I think it's very good practice to obviously have some form of chat on your website. You never know who's just trying to ask a question as simple as, how do I buy this product? And then you have an extra sale. So yeah, definitely need to keep that in mind. I'm going to go back into the theme editor because I think this Shopify logo is actually, there it is. It is hiding behind the Shopify logo. I wonder, can I not? Man, you can't get it away. So if you look at the theme editor, this is obviously what the website looks like. On the bottom left here, you can see I've added a wish list. This is very important for people who sell product-based businesses. Like, you guys really need to add a wish list. You don't understand how important it is for people. They don't have money right now, so they just quickly add the heart and they add it to a wish list, and the product becomes part of a wish list that when they come back, somehow their IP or their cache data remembers what they've done, and when they come back, the wish list is always there for them. Okay, so the last thing we have to do is obviously add the heart to these products so that they can just quickly add it to the wish list. Okay, next thing we need to look at is if we go into the product pages. So let's go over into a product. Let's shop Whey Isolate, Whey Plus Isolate. So I'm going to also look at the Whey Plus Isolate on the Shopify site, and we can look at the differences between the product pages. All right, so we immediately greeted with what the title is over here, and then the product description, and then very boldly screaming out one of their payment processes, which obviously seems to be a sort of pay off system with 0% interest, which is pretty cool. I can't connect any of the product, payment gateways purely because of the demo, but we can definitely include PayFlex to Shopify. I know they work with Shopify, so if you are looking at this video and you want this website from us, please hit us up. Like I said, my team will put you in touch with me. So a very simple layout, go straight into choose your flavors. They've got the additional information, which is the weight of the product, different flavors, nutritional value. Maybe this is something I need to still add to the website, is a nutritional label. I did not put this for all of them, but very important if you're selling supplements, I'm guessing. Something around the nutritional value is very important for people to know. And then they go straight into related products. Obviously you can see they're pumping this pumped up and the blown up combos are the ones they're trying to push the most. So that's what I'm saying. Why is it not on the homepage? Okay, and as you can see, they've actually got a very cool sticky add to cart at the bottom of the page here, which is very cool. You just click it, select your options. It doesn't actually, it just chases you back to the top. So there are other ones inside of Shopify that allow you to do the whole selection process inside the sticky add to cart. We did not add that to the Shopify store. It is something that is considered best practices around CRO. So maybe that is something we can look at doing. All right, so I've just taken you through their product page. Let's take it through our product page. We've got the product being screamed out quite nicely. It's quite big. It's pretty similar, I guess, in a way. We've got the title very bold. We've got actual reviews, which I did not see on this page. There are no reviews. No product on this website on their old website seems to have any review ratings. So we added review ratings, and if they click the reviews, it takes them down to the bottom here to obviously read other customers' reviews. Now, obviously these are not real because obviously it's sample data that they've now pulled through. This clump of writing is sometimes overwhelming for a lot of people to read. So what we'd normally suggest you do with something like that is obviously keep it very clean, very minimal. People kind of know what whey protein is, for example, so they're not going to be looking at your description to try and figure out what's whey protein. But if they do want to understand it, it's very, if we look at ours, it's very clean. We're still reinstating that Nutricon is the SA's best #1 supplement brand. What is this that you're looking at? The different flavors, the price, it's very clear. You can add quantities of the certain flavors that you wish to have. You can add to cart or buy it right now, which takes you straight to checkout. There is literally just an add to cart button on this old website. And then if you go down, you'll see that there are drop down columns or drop down rows as they are called. And yeah, you can read up about the product if you wanted to. Leave the decision up to the client to figure out that stuff. Not to figure it out, but if they want to read it, it is there and it's clear for them to see. But if they want to read it, they can click it and read it. This is very important, having something like the policies around your shop and how you do things. Don't look at these figures and think that if you go to the old website, you should have the same figures, because we are not affiliated at all. So obviously a lot of these things need to be discussed with the owners of the company for us to make sure that these figures that we are punting out here on this fake website are real and actually work according to their business. So yeah, we just prefer keeping it very clean. If you understand design around websites, you obviously understand white space, and white space makes a website look very minimal, clean, uncluttered, and it obviously just makes it easier for the flow of eyeballs. So if you want to design websites, it's all about the flow of eyeballs. You want to make sure that when you have people land on the site, that you direct their traffic of their eyeballs to certain things, because it makes them build intrigue and you want to keep them on the site. And obviously at the end of the day, if you're selling products or whatever you might be selling online, you do want the sale. So keep their eyeballs on the site and keep them busy, and keep them not badly busy, but keep them wanting to look at the next thing, then the next thing, and the next thing, and give it a good flow. Okay. Always a good thing to have is FAQs. I put it directly under the product, and then we are greeted some very important questions that I might have, that I just came up with that I think are relevant to this brand. There is obviously no information in here. We still got to populate that. But next thing that is very important and crucial to every single product on this business and every product-based business is customer reviews. So as you can see, these are samples, but that's the very next thing they're going to see. Then we pump them with what else you might like, or popular other products that others have bought. You don't want to put that as the very next thing, because people want to see the reviews. That is the biggest thing for people. People love reading other people's reviews and remarks about your products. and then we got the simple, footer. So very, very different, very, very, I think we've implemented quite a few various CRO best practices right here. However, not all of them have been implemented, just for the sake of this video's length. But that is, in a nutshell, what we've done to this website. We have not included any of the context around these specific pages, the stockist page, the analysis, the blood work, purely for the time of this video, but that stuff will be added at a later date. And if you are the owner of this business and you really want this website, please hit us up. We will fix the rest of the stuff for you. We will then go through a 300+ point checklist that we keep internally when we do conversion rate optimization for Shopify and e-commerce brands. So yeah, without further ado, I think this website looks much, much better. It looks more clean. And I think if they use this, because of this, the simple few tactics that we've already implemented, that you could see are a clear difference from the old website to this new one, they will definitely see an increase in some form on their sales. Okay, let's take you through the checkout quickly. Obviously, we did see the checkout last time, and the checkout was a two-step process, if you can remember. So the two-step process, as I mentioned, can be quite frictionful. So obviously, we want to make sure that we try and keep it as frictionless as possible. So let's just add this product blown to the cart, and let's go to checkout. Okay, so you're gonna show me a toffee right now. Okay, so here's the issue. For me to be able, checkout, I have to pick a plan. Let's actually put this in here. Shopify one page checkout. Let's see what we come up with. Voila! Now you can see it perfectly. Okay, let's just get a better zoom on this picture. Hopefully I can do that. There we go. So thank you to Digi Smoothie for sharing this image. Okay, so this is a perfect example of the one-step checkout. So I might as well have cut out all that nonsense before. Here you can see the gray side we changed to the gold. You got your delivery address over here, and your shipping method will obviously also be dictated by the shipping rules that we put up in the settings. Remember, we said between 0 and 1,500, they're going to be applicable for 95 bucks on shipping, and if they go above 1,500, they get free shipping nationwide. Then you go to the payment immediately, so you can put your card details in, or you can use your Shop Pay, Google Pay, whatever you want. Your different payment gateways will obviously be laying over here, which will allow people to use the one that is more relevant for them or that they know and trust. And when they click Pay Now, it immediately goes to the payment gateway and sorts the system out. Done and dusted. Whereas when in the past, we had the 3-page, see if we can find an example here. You had the 3-page that happened. This is not a massively new system that they released, but it is definitely an update. So there's an example. If you will look at this one, the example is pretty straightforward. The first page had contact information, so the person ordering, what their billing address and shipping address is. Then you'd click next or continue, and it'll take you to a second page. The second page is payment information. How are you going to pay for this whole thing? And then sort out the billing and make sure that the billing address is correct. And then your last thing is the order summary, and then you complete the purchase. Very, very cumbersome, very, very frictionful. There was massive drop-offs. That's kind of why Shopify developed the one-step or the one-stage page checkout system. So there you have it. I hope that this actually, give you an insight on how this whole thing looks, works, how you can develop your own Shopify store. So yeah, I really hope you guys got value out of this. Let me know what you think about the shop in your comments that we just developed for this company. And then if there's anything you would change or might want to see an addition of, let us know in the comments. We can see if we can add a quick video about that. But yeah, shout out to you guys. Thanks for watching this. The guys who own this company called NutriCon, if you want this website, hit us up. My team members will put you in touch with me, and we can get this over to you guys ASAP, because I really think that you'll increase conversions with this, especially with our final touches. So yes, cool. So there you have it. We've just finished this guy's website in less than a day. We've taken the one that they had and made a brand new one on Shopify. So if you're the owners, contact us. My team will put you in touch with me. We'll give you the website basically. So if you stayed until the end of this video watching it completely, I will appreciate it if you give it a thumbs up. and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate your time. Thank you for watching this video. I hope that it distilled the whole Shopify thing, and if you have an idea and you've got a product that you want to get out there into the world because you believe it can solve something for someone, then definitely leave your comment below. I'd love to go and have a look at the site of yours. Nevertheless, if it's given you some insight, gave you some value on how to design a Shopify store that can work in the marketplace, I've even gone through a few Shopify CRO best practices, around e-commerce brands. We haven't given an exact breakdown on one that is actually excelling at CRO, so maybe that's another video for you. Let me know if you want to see that. But if you want to get in touch with me or the team, let me know. There's a link in the description below. So thank you very much for watching this. I appreciate you. All the best.